There are 493 people left in the game, and Episode 2 of Beast Game starts with a 12-hour time limit until the next game begins. A lot of the contestants get to unwind and chill in the city that's been built for them during this stage, but we don't really follow them a la Big Brother, so a lot of this is just a condensed montage. The thing is, as these individuals start to hang out and get to know each other, it's likely going to make things all the more difficult for the next set of games. When the timer is up, the contestants step up and are each given a random token. These have a number corresponding to the different floors of the towers they need to start their game from. On the back, a clue over what sort of game it will be. They can trade this token with others to obviously play to their strengths, which will likely be a mix of physical, skill, or mental games. The first challenge sees two separate teams go head-to-head up to the fourth floor where half are about to be eliminated. They have simple game of catch. Red balls will be dropped and they need to catch them. If any touch the floor, well, every single person will be eliminated. And they're going to keep going until someone loses. It doesn't take long before a team gets eliminated, but there's pure drama with this as the wrong team initially gets eliminated, but VAR, aka the replays, shows someone dropping the ball early on. And in an absolutely brutal way, Beast Games shows the name of the individual who drops the ball, Andrew. The second team, with the group holding their tokens, show up on floor 2. The green and white teams are on either side of the tower, and the back of their tokens read less is more. So what does that mean? Well, whichever side has the least amount of teammates at the end of this will progress forward. It's another self-sacrifice elimination challenge, but this one has a twist. You see, the teams can't see each other and they have a phone to communicate where they can mentally psyche out the other or work with them to force a tiebreaker. This sets up plenty of sabotage or teamwork, and they also have a 30-minute timer too. Both teams are put through the ringer by Mr. Beast, who decides to ring both phones at once. Nobody budges initially, but with 5 minutes remaining and counting, more people decide to leave. By the end, the white team win by one person. Next up is the red token with a number 3 of them. Up they go to floor 3, where the words on the back reads, "Get ready to throw down." Well, with a large cup down the bottom and 61 throws for each team, they need to get as many balls in that cup as possible. However, there's a twist. Alongside the red ball is a gold cup with a smaller opening. Instead of scoring a point for their team, if they hit the ball inside, they'll win a cool $250,000. The pink team find themselves ahead 13-8 and inevitable win. We also only see one person go for the gold cup, although they claim they didn't, so it's hard to judge how effective this is. With 305 players left, it's now down to floor 1 and the final game of the episode. 63 are on each side, with 63 tiles. Each person needs to pick one tile and stand on it. The symbols? Well, it turns out they mean nothing. Instead, we're actually in trivia mode. 4 players on each panel will compete against 4 from the opposing side. The questions are, well, pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. Including, who owns Amazon, and in 2001, Apple released what defining piece of tech? Anyway, orange team win, but that's not the end of it. There's one more game to close everything out, and that comes from the teams from each floor picking a captain and competing. That captain is going to be offered a massive bribe, so they need to pick someone who can stand strong and not bow under the allure of massive stacks of cash. Jeremy is picked for yellow team, who we saw throughout episode 1, while Harrison is picked for white team. Dino is picked for pink team while Twana is picked for orange team. Now, all 4 players are at the top of the tower and a display shows, continuing to raise the amount of prize money, exponentially getting faster and faster until someone presses the button. Should someone press that button, they'd eliminate their entire team, minus the captain. You see, the captains keep the money for themselves and they also stay in the game. There is a cap to how high the number reaches, and if nobody presses that button during that time, nobody will go home and everybody will proceed forward. The timer gets up to $200,000, where we hear "That's a house" shouted out. Oh, you sweet summer child, you clearly don't live in the UK because you'd be lucky to get a one-bedroom apartment for that down south. Anyway, I digress. The timer? It keeps going up, and it rests on 920K and counting. We don't see if this goes up to 1 million, but we do see that Dino steps forward toward the button. We hear a shout, but then we cut to black. Man, what an insane way to end this episode. Nearly $1 million, and none of these 4 crack. But then the allure has to be absolutely crazy, especially given you yourself wouldn't be eliminated if you took the money. Of course, that would also mean everybody else still in the game would know you can't be trusted, and it would likely paint a scarlet letter on you for the rest of the time left in the game. And who knows what challenge is next. The biggest gripe here though comes from the trivia round. A lot of those questions, especially when you pause and read some of the ones that flash on the screen, are painfully basic. Asking who owns Amazon on an Amazon Prime show that people signed up for is just silly, although I understand that may just be an intentional joke, and it's no wonder those rounds went on for a while. It's also pretty funny that the teacher gets the Roman numeral question wrong. Give us some of those sweet "who wants to be a millionaire" questions to make things more challenging. However, the other games are pretty good, and the ball-catching one must have been so much harder than it looks, especially with the nerves at an all-time high for everybody. For now, though, we'll have to wait and see whether anybody pressed that button and who's still in the game, going into the 3rd episode.